Hello, people of Twitch, and I suppose people of YouTube after we've recorded this and uploaded it over there.
Hi.
I am American McGee.
I'm Martin.
And we are coming to you from Shanghai, where... Is it going to work?
It's going to work.
It's not working. I clicked the button. It didn't do anything. Doesn't like it.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So we've been struggling quite a bit with our VPN nonsense. So if it feels like we are... choppy and laggy, that could be why.
Could be.
But we are going to record this and we are going to upload it to YouTube after the fact, so we're just going to try to bear with it.
Do the best.
I mean, we can.
Let us know if it goes overly terrible. Yeah. Sorry, it's just how it is.
So we're going to jump right into it. We got a couple of fun things going on today. I will be playing Alice Madness Returns in just a moment, but we're going to first give you some details on what else is in store for today. You may have noticed that the opening credit video, what do you call that?
Opening video, why not?
Okay. Was a trailer for something called In Search of Tomorrow. This is actually brought to us by our sponsors over at Freaky Fandoms, Andrew and Deborah. They are involved with promoting, and I think they're also involved with production or fundraising on this project. And so I saw a lot of you in the comments being excited about some of the clips being shown. This documentary goes through all the films that you saw being mashed up in that trailer and talks about the way in which this has impacted culture, and Font Lord's pointing out that our stream is suffering.
Badly.
Yeah, well, don't know what to do.
Keep going.
Yeah, we're going to keep going. So, so yeah, In Search of Tomorrow, currently live over on Kickstarter. And again, our sponsors, Freaky Fandoms, Andrew and Deborah, do have involvement with this. And so we are, I guess this is a kind of shout out for Freaky Fandoms and a project that they're involved with. So we're going to talk about this a little bit during the stream today. We're also going to be giving away a very special prize during today's stream.
Ooh,
what is that?
We are. Look at it. You can see it on screen, assuming
Skulls.
It's not buffering. Skull jewelry. Silver skull set, it says, right there.
Yeah. It is a silver skull set. My wife, Yen, recently put this together. It's not actually for sale just yet. It doesn't start going on sale at Mysterious until, I think, tomorrow, like the first month of May. But it is a set of skull jewelry, obviously. And it comes in this like cool skull-headed box thing. So anyway, we will be giving away one set of this jewelry today during the stream. I can't say whether it's going to be the first, second, third, or fourth giveaway of the stream, but it'll happen at some point. And what's the other thing we're going to give away today?
Right here, we're going to give away some of the tragedy art print. Let's have a closer look at that.
Go for it, Mr. Mobile Camera Operator.
So this is going to be also what we're giving away today.
Art print called Tragedy. So it's
Look at it. It's kind of dark, but hey.
Well, it's a dark art print as well. But yeah, this is an image by Omri done for Alice Asylum, and we will send out 3 of these. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, we're going to send out 3 of these art prints. They are autographed by me, American McGee, and they, of course, are artwork that's coming out of our efforts on Alice Asylum. We will talk also about Alice Asylum today. We do have a bunch of new artwork to take a look at. And was there anything else we needed to clear at the start of the stream?
No, we did the Kickstarter thingy, talk Alice, jewelry necklace thing.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
I think we're pretty good.
We're good.
I did see somebody in the comments ask what's the URL for In Search of Tomorrow. It looks like it's in-search-of-tomorrow-80s-sci-fi-documentary. Or you could just Google.
Just type In Search of Tomorrow Kickstarter.
There you go.
Don't be lazy.
Yeah. But I don't know. Sometimes when we adjust this web window, the URL is actually displayed, but somebody was messing around with this before the stream started.
Fine.
And so, yeah. All right, so that is it for the start of the stream. Yes, Alice Asylum, In Search of Tomorrow. there will be lag, and there will be prizes, and I think that's about it. We're gonna play some Madness Returns.
That's a lot of dropped frames, according to Streamlabs.
Well, what can we do?
Well, it's going to look great when we upload this on YouTube.
Yeah,
so
but
watch it there.
Maybe let's not talk about it unless it just completely falls off the internet. What do you reckon? Because I don't know about you, but I find that talking about how crap the connection is to be one of the least interesting things we could do during a stream.
No, they love it.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I don't love it. All right, so where did we leave off? We had started playing Alice Madness Returns. I think I'd met with the Duchess and I picked up the pepper grinder.
I seem to remember you using that weapon last time.
Yeah, and if I can remember how to switch weapons in this game. How do you switch weapons in Madness Returns? Now, I've been playing other games recently, so I've kind of forgotten how to play my own game. Yeah, so we picked up the pepper grinder in... Oh man, I suck. Just really terrible at my own game. Picked up the pepper grinder here in sort of the Vale of Tears. And we're really just very early in the game. This is something that we're working on for Asylum right now. Now, have you been reading some of the stuff that's being written about the story for Asylum, Martin?
Yeah, but I mean, anything specific?
Well, the intro stuff. I mean, that's what we're writing right now.
Right.
I'm seeking feedback on, the writing, sort of, what do you think so far?
I'm kind of brain farting now, but I know we had questions about that. Oh, did you print them out?
I did. They're over there on the printer.
I did hear the printer whirring earlier.
We've lost Font Lord. He's going to the printer. I guess that's my fault for not carrying the paper over here for him. Sorry, Lord. Sorry, my lord. I failed in my serf duties of carrying your paper for you.
Never mind.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're currently working on is, in Asylum, is the opening act of the game. And like we have here in Madness Returns, the first thing she's going to pick up is actually the Vorpal Blade. Now, we've talked about this in previous streams, that we're going to use the Vorpal Blade not just as a weapon, it is also like the primary means of her escape from this sort of prison that she's in at the start of the game, the area called Asylum. And so she's going to shock everybody in Asylum by suddenly picking up a knife and stabbing people in order to fight her way out of where she's trapped there. So yeah, if you go over and check out the work that's being done on Patreon, you'll see there's actually some script written, some story written that kind of guides you through what that looks like in-game.
Okay. I was just having a quick old read of these, just to see what people were mentioning about that Patreon post. One caught my eye as I was copying and pasting this last night. Austin Cook. Love the idea that the Queen drops the "you've had a lobotomy" bomb on Alice. I'm curious to know how that affects the story. How much awareness do the characters in Wonderland have to their existence and Alice's existence as well? Does that now change the Hatter's goal, discovering how he came to be?
It's a really good question, and we have to start off, first off, anybody who's watching this stream or watching any of these streams, massive spoiler alerts. If you don't want what we're doing with Asylum or even Madness Returns, if you've not played Madness Returns and you don't want the story of it ruined, obviously don't watch this stream. But if you don't want spoilers for the new game, for Alice Asylum, definitely don't watch this stream, because in talking about the answer to questions like Austin's, we're definitely going to spoil what it is that's going on in the game. So, spoiler alert. Yep. So, Austin's question is related to whether or not characters in Wonderland are... Uh-oh, that doesn't look good.
Oh, geez, Rick.
Oh, geez, Rick. Are aware of their own existence or the nature of their reality. Like, do they catch on to the fact that they are all figments of Alice's imagination?
Because we talked about that was one of the Hatter things, that he figured it out, but does that mean everyone else knows?
Well, the simple answer is, got a memory bovine juveniles gave their all for it. That means baby pigs were used to make her soup. Baby pigs. So the basic answer to that is no, of course not. You know, the characters in the Wonderland books and in these games that we've played, Alice, the first Alice and then Alice Madness Returns, they're obviously not aware that of their existence within the mind of Alice. If they were, they might all just sort of give up on their individual personalities. They might give up on their ambitions, their goals, right? They'd just be like, "This is none of this is real.
I'm not real. What's the point?"
Exactly. I mean, wouldn't you just have like an existential crisis and a meltdown, and you'd just give up, right?
Probably.
So no, I mean, as a rule, the characters that live within Alice's imaginations maintain their own sense of reality within the place that they know as Wonderland, and they don't suspect that they are a creature of Alice's existence or her psyche, right? Now, like you said, the Hatter we're talking about in Asylum, that he's been tasked by the Queen to, as I wrote it in the most recent document, he's been tasked with bringing order to chaos by the Queen. Now, I think that the Queen and some of the higher level characters could have some inkling of like just how powerful Alice is. They may not be aware that it's her mind in which they exist, but I think they have some notion that she's important, right? Otherwise, they would just murder her straight away. But I think that like the Queen is a great example of someone who, while she's threatened by Alice and annoyed by Alice's behavior and actions and things like that, and while she could just behead Alice, she doesn't. And so you have to ask yourself, well, you know, why not? Why is it that at the start of Asylum we find that the Queen has imprisoned Alice as opposed to just beheading her?
Yeah.
And again, I think this goes to, well, the Queen knows there's something special about Alice. She may not be aware of, you know, Alice being their god in essence, but she's aware that something special is going on there. So she preserves Alice and she seeks to control Alice. So anyway, back to Austin's question. In Asylum, no, they are not yet aware of this, but I do believe that as the story of Asylum sort of unravels itself, that yes, characters like the Mad Hatter and of course the Queen will all start to realize that they're living within a reality that is, you know, they may not know that it's purely of Alice's imagination, but they'll know that it's contingent on Alice remaining in a sort of frozen state in that reality. They know that if Alice leaves, they all die. They all cease to exist.
Yikes. Don't want that.
But these kinds of themes, you know, these are all going to be what are very heavily explored in the narrative of Asylum, because the reality is that we ourselves are the current prisoners of our, you know, moment-to-moment expectations and sense of our own limitations, and that in order for us to grow as individuals, we have to not only recognize that we hold ourselves mental prisoner, but we have to be prepared to free ourselves by constantly murdering or destroying our previous sense of self, right? We cannot progress and grow and improve unless we recognize that what we were before has to go, right? So she's on a journey that is an analogy for just general personal growth. You know, you can't get better unless you admit that what you were previously was less than, oh, I hate this stuff. It always... and so that's exactly what she's doing in her mind. It's what we have to do as we travel through our own lives.
Wouldn't it be great if everyone could do that? They could just improve themselves by going into some land and like engaging in platforming and...
Well, it is,
having adventures.
But it is, and I think this is the thing that a lot of people don't realize, is that life is a constant adventure. It's constantly filled with obstacles, but there are a lot of people who take the obstacles in life as negatives as opposed to opportunities for growth. And if you look at people who are successful and who have a kind of gusto for life, they oftentimes are throwing themselves into situations that other people back away from, or they'll take traumatic situations and use those as an opportunity for growth and adventure and becoming better people. So yeah, I mean, it is life. That is life. Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's enough of our insane children in the chat now. We could do a couple of shout outs. Who do you see there that we know?
Who do we see? Truth Decay's here. Alice on Elm Street's here. Wendy J. Who else we got? Arthur Zero. So yeah, lots of the old gang, but any new names? Pengy 1309. And a new? Regicide Robert. Okay. Angel PV 0001. Oh, Octo Chicken's here.
Hello, Greg.
Patient 322 from last time. They're here. Yeah, some familiar faces and some new ones. Greetings to all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good to see everybody back again for yet another one of our Twitch streams. I did post up on Twitter that I was bemused by the fact that when I went to set this up, it actually offers the option for scheduling a future stream, which is exactly the thing that drove me mad and away, and it drove me away from YouTube because I couldn't do it. It doesn't let you set a future stream, especially if you're doing international time zone stuff. And I even went back to check it again, and it was still broken. And I wrote to the YouTube support people, and I was like, hey, this is the last time I'm writing about this. Please don't respond, because I don't want to hear from you guys. You're a bunch of idiots. And this is still broken. And, I'm just letting you know that I'm going to be, I'm done. I'm not streaming, I'm not live streaming to YouTube anymore. And she wrote back, and she's like, well, we've done everything we can to help you. We think the problem's on your side. I'm like, yeah.
No, you didn't, and no, it's not.
No.
So get bent.
Get bent. All right. Hollow Eve. Read this as if your life depended on it, because it does. God. Oh, geez, that sounds really serious. Gather these pearly whites to prevent your premature arrival before the pearly gates. My friends can use the choppers, and you'll improve your weapon's capacity.
Ooh.
Wow, there you go. Yeah, I talked about this on the last time that we streamed Alice Madness Returns, and the origin of teeth as a collectible in the game. And recall there was something about having to do with the tooth fairy and burying. People used to bury their teeth when they fell out. So there was quite a bit of research done into this.
Bury the teeth.
Yeah, your teeth would fall out, and then you'd go bury them in the yard. And I think that people made wishes or something. I've forgotten now, actually.
Okay, people just trying to grow a tooth tree, perhaps. Who knows?
Something like that. Yeah.
I've seen Alice on Elm Street post this a couple of times now, so clearly they want this out there.
All right.
But apparently, I mean, it's gone now, but I'll remember it. They're doing some sort of marketing class, and one of the things to do is create a marketing campaign, and they chose to do it about Alice Asylum.
Wow.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, there's plenty of art and stuff already that you could put in your little thing for class.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Don't know if that would be seen as too cheeky by your tutors, saying you didn't do this, but hey, have at it.
Well, I mean, typically speaking, when you go and create a marketing campaign for something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you create all the assets that you're using. You ask the team that's making the product to give you the assets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think that that's cheeky at all.
Okay.
It's very appropriate, in fact.
All right.
So this is the Vale of Tears Looking Glass Railway. So we, of course, are in the Vale of Tears. And there was this notion that the Looking Glass Railway, it's in the books, and it is something that connects all the different areas of Wonderland together. Now, of course, we use this in Madness Returns as a hint towards there being something about the train that is central to this story. And, of course, later on you discover that there is the infernal train, and it's going around destroying Wonderland. which of course is what all this destruction in the background is about. But anyway, trains and the notion of the Wonderland Looking Glass Railway do play a significant role in the story of Alice Madness Returns. And we are going to, of course, have the train stuff come back in Alice Asylum. We've actually got art done for that. If you go over to the Patreon, there's quite a bit of art having to do with the train station, having to do with the Looking Glass line itself, and talking about how we would use that to get around the world of Asylum. So pretty good stuff being done there.
Yeah. I was just wondering, I mean, I wasn't really paying much attention, but the transition from the very pretty Vale of Tears to where you are now, I didn't notice it getting all shonky. Is it a good transition, or is it quite kind of sudden? I didn't see.
I believe we just sort of came around a corner,
Right.
and there it was. It was, it was messed up Wonderland. So yeah, I mean, this is the Vale of Tears being destroyed by the influence of the infernal train.
Some good, fast-moving clouds there.
Yeah, I remember when we were building the game that the team was really having a lot of fun with.
That's great.
The level art and using the engine to create this kind of surreal environments. It's funny, there's not a lot to environments like this. It's one of the reasons why I like when we do designs that we have this kind of island in the sky motif, where you've got big chunks of the world hanging out in the skyboxes like this, because it allows for you to build really impressive and what look like very large environments, but where a lot of the stuff doesn't necessarily have to be explorable. And yet you can put a lot of detail out there and have it render at a decent speed. Of course, that is less and less important as the machines on which we play our games get faster and faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the next gen this holiday season.
Are you keeping an eye on the comments over there?
I am.
It is Martin's job to read the comments while I'm playing the game, so
I mean,
if he's doing a shit job, then,
you
be
were
sure
monologuing.
to call him. Go for it, Font Lord.
Patient 322 said something that scrolled by.
That's incredibly useful, Martin.
Isn't it? Something, if you have a dream where your teeth fall out, it's means somebody has died.
Yeah, Freud and a couple of others had written a bit on teeth and falling out teeth in psychology, and we had taken that into reference as well. I'd looked up quite a bit on it, the origin of the concept of the tooth fairy, and why it was that teeth were important totems in culture in general. And so yeah, it's all kind of blended in there.
Yep. Well, according to patient 322, it was true. They had a dream and they woke up, and apparently somebody in their family had indeed died.
Wow, that's amazing.
Sorry to hear that, but
maybe it was
quite the
somebody
coincidence.
they didn't like.
Well, maybe. I forget who they said. It scrolled. What else have we got? Rosany. How does one obtain the original American McGee's Alice or the remastered HD version game nowadays? I wonder if that's the same person that wrote in.
I don't know. We
asking
get
about
this.
the
We
mods.
get this question a lot, and I mean, I'm glad people still want to play the original game, but I think it's important to remember that game is now going on 20 years old, right? So
That game can drink in American bars.
it can do a lot. But here's the deal, like, in general with 20-year-old games, don't you just go download them? I mean, you just find them on these download sites and grab them. You don't really think about it, do you?
It's probably on Good Old Games.
I'm sure it's
maybe.
on Good Old Games. That's how we got it when we played it, isn't it?
Yeah, it was got from somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's always people on Twitter that are constantly sending the same message about, put Alice, the original Alice, back on Steam. I don't control that. EA controls that. Put the Alice games on GOG, Good Old Game or whatever. I don't control that. So, I mean, we don't have any control over this stuff, and yet it doesn't stop people from almost on a weekly basis demanding that I do something about this situation. But, yeah. Got any other comments over there?
Well, they did mention a HD remake. Omri is working on that currently.
Correct.
Is he not? Right.
He is working on something like that. Yeah, he told us, hold off on playing the original Alice until he's given a chance to finish the work that he's doing with another artist on the HD pack for that game, and then at that point we can install that and play that. So. And he asked me, like, what version do you have? You know, are you able to get some? I was like, God, stop asking me this question. Why is everything this question? I mean, I took Lucky to the hospital this week for a check on some skin allergy issues.
And the doctor asked you about the original Alice.
I mean, this freaking doctor was like, well, you know, we could really help your kid a lot more if you'd tell us where we could download the original Alice. Really.
Man alive.
That's exactly... That's not a true story. That is a true story.
What else we got?
Where is this supposed to take me?
Pengy 1309.
I think I've broken the game. I'm stuck on a gear.
Oh, jeez.
Somebody get the WD-40.
Said, in which, again, scrolled. Maybe I should expand that a little bit.
Maybe you should read a little faster.
Said, where in the games do you think Alice is the most sane? That was the gist of the question.
Where is she the most sane?
Yeah, which game and at which point?
Well, I mean, the cheeky answer to that is that sanity is relative, right? So, you know, you keep in mind that she was put into an asylum. It doesn't necessarily mean that she was ever insane. One of the reasons that she felt that she was losing it was that people were telling her she was insane. It was, you know, it was being insinuated that she'd murdered her family. I don't know that she's ever not been sane. So this was a fight I got into with the guys at EA, the marketing team there, where they had wanted to run a marketing campaign that used the words like, I think they were trying to characterize her as deranged or as, you know, like insane. But what's the, like, there's a really negative word for insane. I'm forgetting at the moment. And that's the thing. I resisted that. I was like, but she's not really out of control. She's not really mental. Just because she's been incarcerated or stuck into an asylum doesn't mean she's insane.
Yep.
Yeah. So to answer the question, when was she the most sane in all of the games?
Well, before the fire, apparently.
Well, of course. You know, that wasn't a question of sanity, though. It's a question of her encounter with chaos and how that, you know, messed with her emotionally. But I wouldn't say that it made her insane per se. Does that make sense? I think people might think I'm sort of splitting hairs here.
They'll think you're insane.
Well,
in the membrane.
Insanity is it's relative, or sanity is relative, and I think relative to all the other characters she runs into a lot of really broken and dirty people. I don't think she's necessarily the most insane or deranged or depraved character that you meet in the games. I mean, that's one of the points it's one of the issues that we tried to highlight throughout her journey, is that turns out she's running into a lot of people who are a lot more broken than she is. She's actually surrounded by lots and lots of broken people.
All right. Hope that answers your question.
It does. That answers my question. You know what time it is?
Hammer time.
Oh, it hasn't been hammer time for like 30 years, Martin. Get with the time.
Is it 10:30 time?
It is 10:30 time.
I'm going to guess that we're going to give away a print for this one.
All right, you said it.
We're not going to do the big one
You
just
said
yet.
It. Well, if we did, they all leave the stream and they wouldn't watch us anymore because we're incredibly boring.
They know how engagement and clicks work.
Exactly. Okay, so it is contest time.
This print.
What is that?
Right here, it's tragedy. The tragedy print.
Oh, it's working.
It's working.
Yay! Oh, I'm wearing my plague mask. Yeah, awesome. For contest time. So what is the contest going to be?
Something about what mask would you like to see on our faces?
That's not a very good question.
But then somebody might say something that we could find something similar of.
You're really not good at questions.
Good one, that.
No, you're terrible at questions. Terrible. Absolutely terrible at questions. So why don't we say that we're gonna use Nightbot, right?
Believe so.
And Nightbot doesn't see any users that are eligible anyway. It's busted.
Grr.
So I don't even see Nightbot in the whatsy there.
We need to log out and log back in again.
Really? Oh, nope. There goes somebody. One eligible user.
Yay.
Okay. There we go. We just needed to reload the page. All right. So for this particular, what do we call these things? Contests, giveaways, whatever. Why don't we ask? What's the question to ask?
See?
I don't know.
What? Somebody said cat ears. There's a cat attack one.
Is there?
Let's do cat attack. It's near the bottom.
Oh God. I know that you think this is fun, but I promise
I've been playing with this all morning.
I promise you that the people watching don't find this entertaining at all.
They do.
I bet you they really don't find this entertaining. And I know he was sat over here giggling.
You've gone past it.
He was sat over here giggling all morning.
There's some really good ones.
No. Here, this is what is appropriate for you.
Is it?
There, a brain slug. And look, it's going to die because it's going to starve to death. Oh, look, it's even given us a little bit of drool. Anyway,
drool.
I don't know. Let's ask the question, is there toilet paper wherever in the world you are? Because I continue to see reports of there being lack of toilet paper in the world. So,
yes.
Your answer, yes or no, and that will qualify you for the giveaway with Nightbot here, and then we will be giving away one of these fine art prints called Tragedy. And if you don't have toilet paper where you are, it is a tragedy, I suppose. I wouldn't want to live in a place without toilet paper.
Plenty of toilet paper over here.
Everybody's saying yes. Okay, not really. Yep, enough to get by. Yes, no. Nope, no toilet paper anywhere in the vicinity. Wow.
Can't find any NyQuil.
Huh. That's crazy. Why would you want NyQuil? Lots
toilet
of people,
paper on eBay, they banned it.
They banned toilet paper on eBay.
According to Anonymous 75.
Huh. Interesting. Megas says you could use the print for toilet paper. You could. So we will send you the art print, and if you can actually rip it, because they're very difficult to tear.
They're I can't imagine it being very comfortable scrunching that up and wiping it on your bum.
Well, you wipe your butt with tragedy. That sounds like the title. That's like a band, the name of a band. I'm going to see Wipe My Butt with Tragedy, Mom. I'll be home late. Deal with it. Okay, so we're gonna roll it. 3, 2, 1, and Jubilant J has won the giveaway. So congratulations, Jubilant J. What is the thing? You need to send an email to support@mysterious.com. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, support@mysterious.design, not .com. Support@mysterious.design. Be sure to include your name, your mailing address, your phone number. Put all that into a very nicely formatted, human-readable, logical, sensible way of, line by line, and do that within 24 hours, and then FontLord will get your data and put it in the system, and off goes an art print to you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Excellent.
Congratulations. Should we do any other housekeeping before I go back to playing the game here?
Ooh.
We could take a look at some art, because I think we actually passed through a bit of art that was relevant to the stuff. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. So while we're here. So Jen sent along this as a bit of art. She's doing a series of breakables, which I think can also turn into collectibles.
Yeah.
I think this one you break, and apparently he hisses and scurries away.
I can imagine that, giving you a bit of a growl and a hiss as it stares at you and then scuttles off under the couch or something.
It's really funny. It's kind of a fun idea that these might be the children precursor, the ancestor. No, wait, not the ancestors. What's an Yeah, your ancestors came before you. Yes, these would have been the ancestors to the teeth that we're breaking in Madness Returns. Now, the teeth in Madness Returns are inanimate. They just kind of float there. So we've had these thoughts on other objects that we've been designing for Asylum, in that they could tell a bit of history, of story, origin story for some of the items that you find later on. So this might be a pretty good one. You come across this type of thing, you give it a whack, and the tooth escapes.
I like it.
And maybe, like the gnomes in, what's that Little Nightmares game? You can sometimes catch these things and sometimes not. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, chasing a tooth around a little bit.
They are really creepy and at the same time really cute, which is, of course, what Jennifer is very good at. I like that. This is actually leaning towards a little bit more creepy than cute, which is, I think, nice for for Jennifer. Yeah,
I think so.
It's all good. Speaking of Jennifer, do you know what today is?
I do.
Yeah, it's Jennifer's birthday, so let's give away some heart balloons. Happy birthday, Jennifer! There's some
happy birthday.
Very strange heart balloons.
What's that doing to your face?
I don't know. They're floating through my face. They're really insane. But anyway, it is Jennifer's birthday today, so a very happy birthday to Jennifer, one of our artists who's been on the project for quite a long time now. And so there you go. Happy birthday, Jennifer. There were a few other bits of art related to this topic that I wanted to show just really quickly, because the fact that Jennifer did something that's cute but a little bit leaning towards dark, it reminds me of this. So Joey is working on art, and one of the things that she had proposed previously was this kind of like claw. Well, I should say Jennifer proposed the claw hook thing, but the way in which Jennifer had drawn it was in her sort of typically cute style. You remember this?
A little bit.
Now, I think, is that actually Jennifer's drawing, or did Joey do that? But I know that Jennifer did this this little shrimp, the prawn, the chaos prawn cannon. But what I really like is that Joey has gone and done like this Doom. It's like turned the prawn cannon into the BFG. So I guess Joey got the sense that Jennifer's art like this was a bit on the too cutesy side for an Alice game, which is true. But I like this collaboration with this chaos prawn cannon. Now, she's actually converted it. It's still, this is kind of a prawn, but this is actually turned into more of a lobster. And I don't know how many of you listen to or are aware of Jordan Peterson, but one of the things that his fans are really big on is this idea of lobsters and their dissolving brains. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that we've now managed to combine together, we see the evolution of the prawn to the lobster to the chaos cannon, and that's what it's called. It's actually called Chaos Cannon. This feels like something that fans of Jordan Peterson should be a really big fan of.
I just can't stop thinking how you'd even hold that.
Carefully. Very, very carefully. Maybe it holds
it's kind of like an underarm cannon, and like maybe your fingers would go through the little holes in the cog at the bottom.
It's also a question of scale. I mean, do we know, maybe she holds it in two hands overhead with her hands through this. I mean, what if it's bigger than her and like her head is just down here and she just holds it up
maybe
over her head? Because it looks massive and it's got all this smoke coming out of it. I don't know. It's pretty big. The other thing you could imagine is that she throws this out into an environment, and then it lands on the ground, and you can kind of get behind it and point it at things. Like if it was, remember we were watching The Mandalorian, and there's that scene where like they come out with that big mounted cannon and they try to blow the door down. Yeah. So it could be something like that. Like it's sort of more like it starts off small, you throw it on the ground, it gets really big. And then you can point it at things and melt their faces.
Maybe it moves around on that cog at the bottom.
Who knows? Or it could even, I mean, that could be a wheel.
I bet Joey knows.
What if she actually rides this thing? So that's the, like, uniwheel underneath, and Alice straddles the thing here with the exhaust pipes behind, and she
holds onto the antenna.
That would be
as handlebars.
That would be really fun. I like that.
I think that might be a step too far.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
It's a prawn turned into a weapon. How can you tell me it's...
a lobster motorcycle where you control it holding the antenna, and it's got a massive cannon at the front.
Look, this is exactly why people play Alice games, okay? They don't play Alice games for just a regular old prawn. They want a chaos cannon prawn that you can ride around on. Let's just see what people say here in the chat. I think you've got the wrong end of this. I think you've got the wrong end of the prawn.
Andrea CVR says it looks like a motorcycle. If it had an arm strap, it would be a good idea for a weapon. Truth Decay, vehicle section in Asylum.
Confirmed.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Yeah.
Starts to shed carcasses when it gets bigger.
Or when it's shot at, it could shed its carcass, scales and things like that. Would be pretty cool. And then underneath is like a pink cocktail shrimp body that's really tasty. All right. That would be all right.
Yeah, people seem to like it. Oh no. Nightbots. What's Greg's Junk's been slapped on the wrist by Nightbot.
Oh no. Well,
reason: stop posting links.
Has he been posting links?
Well,
apparently so.
Hard to say because the messages have been deleted by
Stop
Nightbot.
that, Greg. Stop.
It's fake Greg.
Stop. Oh, there is a fake Greg. That's right. Somebody's a fake Greg.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm a fan of fake Greg. I don't think the world needs that. One Greg is enough, and that's a lot of junk already. Anyway, so that's a bit of art. That's a bit of what our artists have been up to.
Can't wait till we get to the next bit of Joey art.
Which one?
You know which one.
I do? What are you talking about? I'm being serious. What are you talking about?
The dress?
The dress? That?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? It's just not...
What's wrong with that?
Well, I mean, I'm not a fan of it. We never asked for this, and I purposely didn't show it the last time, 2 times that she sent it to me. This, I guess I'm going to complain now. Get prepared! I'm going to complain!
It's a good picture. I'm not criticizing the art.
No.
But it's kind of, it's along the lines of like Omri's Mercury dress. I think it might be a little too glitzy.
Well, it's just wrong. So let's see here. I'm going to find one of these heads that you like so much, and I'm going to... Okay, here we go. Get ready, Americans going to complain. Complaining Red Devil FaceTime.
I do wish these masks were better, because like, you know, like TikTok, like the eyebrows and the mouth moves and everything, it's like really mapped to your face.
I don't know. Anyway, so that was me getting angry. Why am I angry? Because, so first off, we never asked for this dress. It was something that Joey decided to invent on her own lonesome self. And it actually came with a piece of art that I showed last week. That was where she had done a crystal cave, like a quartz-filled crystal cave. Now, I did show that piece of artwork, and I felt that we could find a way to fit it in, make it relevant. But when Joey had sent this to me originally, there were a couple of issues. First of all, we never asked for it. Now, just because we don't ask for something doesn't mean we get it and it doesn't work. Sometimes it's fine. We can find a way to make it work. One of the issues I've got about the dresses is we've got enough damn dresses. I don't. If you've been watching our progress on Asylum, one of the things you know is we've made a lot of dresses, and we really don't need more dresses because I'm not even sure how we're going to fit in all the dresses that we've made so far. Next point was, as a dress, I was not impressed The dress does not impress. It will make you depressed. I don't know. Anyway, so this dress just didn't do much for me because it felt like it doesn't really stand out. It doesn't say Alice to me. It didn't feel particularly interesting. Like if I was a cosplayer, I don't think this would be something that I'd go in for. I mean, if there's cosplayers in the chat, please correct me if I'm wrong. And then last, and maybe certainly not least, was I don't like the cut of this dress for a 13-year-old girl, and I don't like the kind of makeup application that's going on here either. One of the things we have to constantly remind ourselves while we're working on this game is that our main character is only 13 years old, and I don't think that a sort of skirt cut above the knees with this sort of generous over application of, look, I mean...
She's going out clubbing.
That, or she's going to work in the oldest profession in the world. I don't know, but it's all wrong for me.
People in the chat, I mean, they seem to think it's okay, but it just doesn't. It's the wrong style. It's not Alice.
Well, I mean, look, I listed out my grievances from top to bottom based on sort of which ones were first in my mind. But it's not necessarily which ones are most important. Look, I always think it's very necessary for us to remain sensitive to the age of the character and not sexualizing her due to, just in general, you shouldn't with characters that age, but also doubly so with a character who's gone through the sort of trauma and narrative that our Alice has. So I don't feel this is appropriate. That's extremely important. But you could just stop that and start at the beginning. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't work. I don't even want to get into the other reasons for why this isn't going to be in the game that include what I just said about the story and who she is as a character. So anyway, that's it.
Yeah,
hard pass.
People in the chat were generally mimicking your concerns. I think we're all on the same page with this one.
Right. So that's me being the content sheriff of Wonderland saying, "Pull over, young lady. You're getting a ticket." No, you've exceeded the something limit. Out. Go to jail. Are you happy, Martin?
Yeah.
Are you happy that I'm using your dumb... You
know what? We need one of those stream decks that has one of these faces on each button.
This is where this is going. We're going to end up...
I do sometimes think we should get one of those stream decks.
Okay, go for it. Get one. I don't even know what that is. I'm sure
it's
Elgato
stream deck. It's quite popular. Okay. I think.
Do it. Go for it. Do it. All right. Back to Madness Returns. Now we are... Oh, wait. What's up with this cursor? Get off this screen. We are leaving the Vale of Tears, and we're going to head towards the Hatter's Domain. So in Asylum, we're going to start in a place called Denial, and we're going to go to the Queen's Domain, and then we're going to go to Hatter's Domain. And when we get to Hatter's, we're definitely going to learn a lot about him and his sort of role as the chief scientist in Wonderland, the chief experimenter. I always felt that horn blast didn't convey itself as coming from Alice and the horn. It was too big, and it was too general. Anyway, Hatter Industries. You see the logo here. I really want to work on sort of some of the origins of Hatter Industries when we go into Asylum, because we're gonna go and we're gonna see his home as it was prior to all of the stuff getting broken and full of chaos.
And blown apart.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. What else have we got going on in chat right here? Silver Jinx says hi. Hi.
Hi, Silver Jinx.
Who Girl Blue says that dress has exceeded the sparkle limit. I think it did.
Yes, I think so.
Yes, Nobra Chan says get a stream deck. Octo Greg says could be the font deck. Could. Surprised you haven't seen them. It's like a little thing, and it's like 3 by 5
I know exactly
or something.
What you're talking about. I do. Go get one, Martin. I'm
will.
Sure it'll make life just that much better.
It will.
Yes. I did just notice a quote the Alice attributed to Dr. Bumby. She said that he had said that change is constructive, which is interesting because it plays very much against who he is as a character, and what he's trying to do with her psychologically. Never realized that line was sort of out of character for him. There it is. Of course, it doesn't come directly out of his mouth. It comes out of Alice's mouth, but still.
Okay, patch that.
Yes, we're going to have to release a patch.
Well, so apparently, Fake Greg got banned because he was sharing a link of him singing Happy Birthday for Jen.
Is she even in the chat?
Well, I saw her at some point.
Well, I'm sure she will live without that, or you can find a way to do that later on.
Maybe.
Yeah. Now, as we said in the last playthrough of Madness Returns, the Hatter's Domain is
there.
Yay! Well, happy birthday. Hatter's Domain is one of my favorite domains. I like mechanical stuff. I like experimenting and building and steam and gears and levers and valves. So I feel a particular connection to the Hatter, at least in his in that aspect of his personality.
You do like to tinker, don't you?
I do.
With your stuff.
I've got multiple crazy tinker projects going on right now.
Ooh.
I'm building a water maker in my garage, just in case
water maker.
In case the world really goes to crap, I'll be able to turn seawater into fresh water. Of course, I'll need seawater first, which I don't happen to have a lot of around the house here. But anyway,
there's a dried up creek just outside. That's always got a little bit of water at the bottom of it.
That's got frogs in it. I don't really want to turn frogs into fresh water. That's not my goal.
All right.
Yeah. But yes, I am of the mechanically inclined sort. Oh no, I missed that a bit. F.
Jeez.
Fall to death. Dead. But hey, I got to be reconstituted out of a cloud of butterflies, so.
Happy Gaijin asks, is there a future possibility for more Alice games?
Yes.
And will they focus more on horror aspects? So Happy Gaijin, clearly new around here. Yes, we've been doing the pre-production and design work and chat and everything for Alice Asylum for quite a while now. There's a lot of videos about this up on our YouTube channel.
And on Patreon.
And
I tweet about it.
And he tweets about it.
And it's on our Facebook page.
And it's on Facebook.
And Instagram.
And that. So yes, there's lots and lots of information about Alice Asylum out there. And it will be a prequel to the original American McGee's Alice. So yes, that is what is being worked on. And why we're here and chatting and engaging with all you lovely folk.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Asylum is going to be the prequel. If you go to the Patreon page, I think there's a pretty good little brief overview of what, where, how, and what we're trying to do to get it made. The reality is we need something like $20 million in cold hard cash. More. And a publisher. The financier and publisher don't have to be the same, but if they want to be, that's fine as well. And yeah, so in the midst of of doing all this story design art stuff, I'm also out talking to potential financiers and publishers. And sometimes they are governments, sometimes they are well-known game industry entities that you may be aware of already. Sometimes they're VCs, sometimes who knows. Since we've started this saga, this journey, we've probably had more than a dozen sort of significant or serious talks with a variety of potential financiers and publishers. Some of those I can talk about. Like, we've talked to Amazon. Amazon still seems like they're kind of interested, but maybe not. And so it's hard to say. Like, there's always changing of the guard at these organizations. We've recently had some talks with Netflix. They seemed really keen, and then they just suddenly were like, nah.
Right up until they weren't.
Yeah. And I felt like the reason they gave for the pass was not very clear, because we were able to present so much great material, art, story, team, design, the fans that are out there. So when somebody passes, especially when they're in a position like Netflix is, where they're really desperate for good new content to turn into games and television, it always comes as a bit of a shock, because you think like, well, this is right up your alley, especially given the most recent success they've had with things like The Witcher, as an example. And yet people pass. It's a big ask to fund something like this, and we'll just wait and see. Now, I believe that at the end of the day, it will be EA who fund it and publish it. But as I've said many times, like last time around for Madness Returns, the game we're playing today, it took us a total of, I think it was 18 months, but just call it 2 years. So it took like 2 years to get the funding and the license and everything in place to make this game. So it was 2 years just to get the documents and the deal done before this game could start production, and it took another 2 years to make the game. So we're heading into 2 years of trying to get this thing off the ground now of Asylum, and I'm still talking to EA. They're still at the table. In fact, recently I was told to expect something by the end of 2020, and I'm just like, how do I press space to roll eyes? Anyway, so my guess is that it will be EA that fund it and publish it. If not, I'll eat my hat. But that being said, like I just told you about a fairly significant conversation that's just started with a developer publisher that many people are big fans of.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, they've put out some really good games that are in the same genre as this in recent years, and so I think that fans would be really happy if that particular company picked up what we're doing here. But it's a wait and see. That conversation's just started. We sent them all the materials that we've been working on. I assume that some level of executive review is happening now, and we'll get feedback in the next week or so. Now, of course, everything that's going on with the virus situation is having its own effect on these things as well. It's slowing down these conversations a lot. But fingers crossed for 2020.
Don't say virus. YouTube will demonetize us.
What?
Like
Come
we can.
on. Well, we're going to get demonetized for the trailer that we ran at the start of the video anyway.
Very likely.
Doesn't matter. So yeah, I think 2020, I had thought was going to be our year, just given how much we've put into this so far. But given now what's gone on with the situation that shall not be named, it's hard to say if that's going to have a positive or negative impact. Because like one of the things that's really surprising about entertainment companies is that actually during depressions, they tend to invest pretty heavily because they know that people need content during depressions, and also they know that when you come out of a depression, people are looking to buy new games and new films and stuff like that. So not to belittle people's tragedies that they're having, but hopefully there's a positive to come from this. Yeah, we'll see. We will see.
What do we got?
And the thing is, like, this most recent conversation, the one I told you has just started, that came from a meeting that I took a year ago at an office where the conversation, I had actually gone to that meeting really to try to get a sponsor for Pirate Jam. And that company at the time was like, Pirate Jam. Well, the guy that I met with, he wrote kind of out of the blue and said, hey, I also, sort of a game agent. He goes out and tries to help developers connect with money. And he said, there's interest in what you're doing with Alice from this place over here. Do you want to talk to them? And I was like, of course. Why would I say no? So anyway, that was an unexpected connection from a meeting that I had no sense would sort of turn into potential funding for Asylum. So.
He's a good one.
Yeah.
Zipped lips or whatever. What do we got? Arthur. Every time I see the game, I'm mesmerized. That happens with American McGee's Alice 2. Can't wait for the HD pack. HD. Do we have any kind of idea about Omri's time scale with that?
You need to ask Omri.
No. Yeah. Right.
Never closed, never locked.
Switch Pro is going to overrun the market once the thing is over. Is it? You still play your Switch?
Every once in a while. You know, we had a baby, so baby.
That's what it was.
Baby takes away huge swaths of free time. If you didn't know that, that is the case. Yes. But do you know what time it is? It's not baby time. It is.
Is it print time?
What? Did you just decide that it's going to be a print again?
Yeah.
Sounds like it. All right. We're going to do another prize. So, come on, Martin. Come up with a worthwhile, even just make it a question that's like just not crap. It could just be
like
any,
all of the ones I do.
Any question. Just a not crap question.
What takes up the most time for you?
Oh, that's a good one.
Is it the baby? Is it
I
work?
like that. That's a good question.
Is it other stuff?
That's good, Martin.
Okay.
I actually like that question. It's not crap. And so we're going to find out from our friends in the chat what takes up the most time for them. Oh. In the meantime, I'm going to click on one of these. I liked this Chad one a lot. I like what it does to your chin. You're a Chad.
I have no massive chin.
I don't know. It reminds me of what's the guy?
People are pressing F to pay respects.
What? Why?
The stream or something. Doesn't something happen there?
Really? The video went out, they say.
Oh.
You're both Chads in my
There's a good one. Scroll up a bit.
But what are people saying about the video went out?
Chiseled.
Chiseled. That one. Mm-hmm. Ooh, it's a big block of stone.
But I like the face at the end.
Martin, what's going on here? That's nuts. All right. So somebody says they didn't hear the question.
It doesn't matter. The question was, what takes up the most amount of time with you in your world?
Because what takes up most of my time these days is baby stuff. And so what takes up time for you, Martin? Playing video games?
Not doing much. I'm just
eating very unhealthy food?
Maybe. Napping. Yeah, I'm done with Final Fantasy VII Remake. I got a bit burnt out there at the end. It's good fun, but it could have been better.
Sleep, masturbation, gaming, sleeping,
hookers and
cooking.
Cocaine.
Hookers and cooking. As long as you're not cooking hookers.
Walking dog.
Doggo.
Laughing
my fucking ass. Well, you could spend a lot of time laughing your ass off, yes. Playing video games is my entire life. Horse
riding.
Is that like, do you get on the horse and run around the field in the shape of the letters? Is it like sky riding but with a horse? Maybe. Or do you get a horse and write on the horse?
You like jot down what the horse is doing while you're on the horse.
Or is it that you're like a novelist who mainly writes horse fiction or horse
fanfic,
fantasy? I don't know. It sounds terrible. Either way, horse writing. I think horse writing wins. I hope whoever does horse writing.
Erotic horse fiction.
Yes. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. It is Desert Phoenix. That's our good friend Ray Weatherford. Under the guise of Desert Phoenix 74. So congratulations, Ray. Actually, Ray knows the drill. You need to send an email to support@mysterious.design. Include your name, your address, your phone number, all that stuff. Do it in a Martin/American readable format and do all that within 24 hours.
Please do.
And then we will send you this art print. It's called Tragedy. You want to do a bit of
Okay.
of QVC
Let's do some
cam
shaky
action.
hand down cam.
There you go. Wow, look at that. I'll even do the Vanna White thing. Like, woo, you're going to get this poster. And an American's even going to sign it somewhere.
Somewhere in one of the corners.
Woo! All right. So, yeah, that's it for Ray's prize today. So, why don't we do another...
Woot.
Let's do another aside to some art really quickly here.
Okay, what else we got?
I did notice that Joey, she sent along this colorized version of the weapon idea for a lollipop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's fine. Doesn't really set my world on fire, but it's okay. I think the rule for me, and we've talked about this before, is the lollipop doesn't work, but the flamingo would work for me. Why? Because when you whack something with the flamingo, it's going to squawk. Or when the flamingo weapon is sat there and it's idle, it's also going to like wiggle and move and do some stuff. So,
Which a piece of candy
would not do.
like that shape. It's not very, it's got much movement to it.
Yeah, there's not much to it. So, a Cheshire Cat head, sure, but like he's a main character, and do we really want to like belittle him by turning him into an ornamental weapon head thing? Nah, not really.
Maybe not.
So, I don't know, Joey. I feel like this is another kind of miss art stuff. Now, Joey has been doing another section of art for us. We're going to have the artists working on movement and animation, and they're going to start by doing these as 2D, obviously illustrations, comic book panel type of stuff, and we're going to go through a list of all the potential movements and actions that Alice has in the world, and then we're going to art them out.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Probably good. What have we got? Peeking, hanging, climbing, edge climbing.
Well, it's climb up in narrow place, Martin. I mean, come on. This is a very classic Hong Kong kung fu movie move here.
It is. Crawling, narrow ledge. Might not need narrow ledges to slow the game down anymore in the next generation.
What do you mean slow the game down?
That's just people put slow edge crawling into games these days to allow the game to load the next bunch of assets in.
Ah, I see.
So you might not see as much edge crawling in future games.
But you could say that of many things in a game. In games, I mean, even way back when we used to build sections of games to kind of slow the player down for the sake of the engine. So yeah.
Go down a corridor, go in an elevator, crawl on a ledge, whatever.
I mean, these things oftentimes have gameplay value on their own, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, we do expect that we'll have an entire catalog of these things rendered out relatively soon. Again, this is all part of the function of the pre-production work that we're doing. Specifically, this is all going to go into the design Bible that we're working on. Now, we have gone through this stuff before. We've actually started working in yet another... Alex has got me working all over the place. So he's actually got me working in another new document. Let me see, it's this one, this copy of Design Bible chapter narrative description. So here, I'll pull this up really quick. It's not the most interesting thing in the world to look at because it's just a wall of text. But what we're doing here is we're working towards a document that we could actually print into a book, and it's gonna basically walk you through the entire game from start to finish from the perspective of the player. So, as you would read through this, you would be as if you were playing the game itself, right?
Right.
This is actually kind of going back to the question you started the stream with about the drill coming through the head in the Queen's domain. That's copied in here. I found it kind of interesting that when people read that, there were many of our insane children who responded with like, "What? No, she can't have had a lobotomy." And I had to clear it up in the comments and say to people like, "Hey, the Queen's lying to her, right? It's misdirection by a character who is not her friend." And anyway, so all that stuff is getting captured here. Again, if you don't want spoilers and you don't want to mess up the surprise of the game, then don't go and read that. But the text will be combined with art like you see here, so that when the final product is delivered, and again, we're aiming to do that by the end of this year, you could sit down in text and art form at least and feel like you're able to play through the whole game. So,
yeah.
There you go.
That's a good point that you made earlier then. Like, if you write something in the story, people will they'll look at that and see that as fact, as truth. If you write something in the story which is one of the characters is lying, that's kind of harder to pick up on, I guess.
Well, it's like if you're reading a book and a character in the book's lying and you don't know it until it's revealed later on that the character's lying, right?
It's kind of interesting that people were like, oh, she can't have had the lobotomy. And it's like, chill.
Yeah.
It's a lie.
But it's actually good that people had that reaction, because it gives me the sense that, you know, even though those people have all been involved with this process, they can still be shocked by something that we write, you know, so.
Yeah. Stream has disconnected.
That's not good.
Let's keep going for YouTube.
We are recording. It says it's
40% dropped frames.
It's attempting to reconnect. You think I should turn the VPN off and back on again?
That's risky.
It says reconnecting. Do you believe it?
You want to give it a go?
I've done it. I've turned off the VPN. For those of you who are on the outside of this, maybe you'll come back, maybe not.
Let's hope.
This is the wonders of Chinese internet and trying to get
we're
over.
Looking.
Trying to get over the Great Firewall. Stream has disconnected and attempting to reconnect. It's now been 1 minute.
Well, there's no orange showing up. It's just blue.
The chat has reconnected. We can say here we're working on it. VPN issue.
As usual. Well, not as usual.
Okay, it's back, they say. We are back. Okay. Apparently they can see us now.
Yay.
It's back. Anyways, guys, sorry. It's the VPN. We don't know what causes this. We don't know how to fix it. We don't want to talk about it. It's incredibly boring. So thank you for hanging out there. Anyway, other bits of art that have been done recently. So a lot of you saw this image that Joey did. I love this image. This is currently the background desktop, whatever, wallpaper on all of my computers. But do you know that she's done something different in this one?
She fixed something that was a little too pointy.
She has. What's she done, Martin?
The Chaos Necklace actually looks like a Chaos Necklace now.
Yeah,
with 8 points.
That's right.
Instead of a clock necklace with 12 points.
So she updated this. Now, no. What have you done? Yeah, anyway, so she's fixed it. I don't... If you go look at this on the Mysterious site, I'm almost certain that it doesn't have a big round loopy thing at the top, does it?
I'm almost certain it doesn't as well.
And I even sent her the link to the Mysterious shop where this necklace is featured, and I said, please copy that, and I don't think that she did. There it is, Joey! It doesn't have
there's a hole in the point.
It doesn't have a big round hoopy thing at the top. Stop it. Anyway, so one more time back to the drawing board for Joey, but she's getting closer. Because yeah, the last time around, she had put way too many arms on the chaos symbol.
Those are some long fingernails.
Whoa!
As well.
Those are long fingernails, especially for a little 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, maybe they shouldn't be so long and painted.
Well, I don't know that this is 13-year-old Alice, though.
Ooh, okay.
I don't think... I mean, this is definitely a 13-year-old snail. You can tell. You can count the rings in its shell, and then you can know how old it is.
Right.
Yes. That snail looks kind of pervy. I don't know. Anyway. Pervy snail. So yeah, the image got a little bit of update, but we're going to have to ask Joey to do one final... Come on, fix it. That's not right.
It's quite shiny, though.
It
very
is.
well at making that look shiny.
Well, she
It's actually an image.
she actually copied and pasted this in there.
That's why it's so shiny. But then she wangled.
She did that. No, Joey. Okay. Anyway, where's my angry face? It's coming back. What if I had salt? Does that make sense if I poured salt on myself for being disgruntled?
Maybe.
I think it makes sense. All right. So I'm salty, Joey, because you've thwarted my bossly instructions. Please fix it. Anyway, so that was another piece of work. Speaking of snails, and Jennifer, there is a dapper snail who says that, breakables can be made more interesting by having breakable parts that cause chain reactions or a change in the environment. So, like, you could basically do snail dominoes, snominos, or dama snails.
I saw a few comments about this particular snail.
Let's talk about it.
So there was a comment from Victoria Taylor.
Wait, I just want to say something.
Okay.
I think it would be funny if when the snails come out of their shell, they're naked. But we program them so you can never get around the front side to really see their shame, and that's kind of like what they do. They run away, and you can only ever see their backside, and they are incredibly shy.
So you want there to be snail junk.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So anyway, that's my idea. I'm done.
But you know what it's like, don't you, on games where they try to put in a feature where you can't look at a certain thing, like up someone's dress, and people always find ways around it.
Yeah, but I want them to be nude, and I think that'd be hilarious. And they could have like quite a large bit of junk for a snail. I mean,
we have boy snails and girl snails.
Sure, but anyway, it should be as offensive as we can get away with. But technically, you should never be able to see it. So that's it. That's my one great idea for today.
Snail junk confirmed.
Confirmed. Now, please, what have you got in the comments there, Martin?
Victoria Taylor. This goes to one of the other breakables as well, the swan that we showed off last time. I love the swan and the tooth jar. I like the idea because it seems to tie into Madness Returns. The snail, however, looks a lot like Gary from SpongeBob. I don't want to break that sweet baby.
Oh boy,
I think somebody
saw
else.
That. Yeah, I saw a couple people complaining about Gary from SpongeBob.
Dewey Sri.
Right.
Took a bit too much inspiration from SpongeBob's Gary there.
Did you hear that, Jennifer? Stop stealing from other artists.
I do love the elegant swan, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the gnome got some very emotional comments, if I remember correctly.
I saw somebody, I don't seem to have copied that particular comment, but I definitely saw somebody who did not like it.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but there was a very pointed comment that I hate the gnome, and please gnomes
Gnomes.
in the no, stop it. So there was a lot of like negativity around the gnome. I don't know, not really bothered by them. I have no problem with them. Har. What was it? Who was it that was so angry about the gnome? Was it Ina? Oh, no. Yeah, I really hate the gnome. It's Ina.
Okay.
So one of our patrons, Ina, she wrote in, very specific here, hating on the gnome. She says, I like all the breakables except for the gnome. I really hate the gnome and I want to smash it to bits.
Jennifer in the chat, apparently that was on purpose. Makes you want to smash it. Yeah, Ina, you just got gnomed.
Yeah, I think Jennifer has gnomed you. So
Atter says, no more of this.
Come on, what's wrong with it? It's funny. We're having fun. You're gnome fun. Oh boy, I love puns. I really do. There was hell gnome.
Hell gnome.
I'm angry as hell, and I'm gnome gonna take it anymore. Oh no. So yeah, there's a hell gnome. I think you've overdone it with the gnomes here, Jennifer.
Maybe.
But I do like the idea of the breakables, and I think that we had really good breakables in Madness Returns. I did like walking around smashing them. Now, I said in my comment on this over on Patreon that I feel that breakables are kind of like the hi-hat in a jazz song, and then I mentioned snake jazz.
Snake jazz song.
Yes. So, all good. I think that the gnomes and the breakables are all good. Any other notable breakables in this set, or any other comments on the breakables?
Well, they're all just kind of more of the same, I think. People love the swan. People think the snail looks like Gary.
She did do the frog's breath, but we'd shown this off before.
Right.
And look, Jennifer knows how to draw a chaos symbol, Joey. What's going on there? Didn't put a big loopy hoopy thing on the top. Yeah, I think that this one's good. I also like the idea that when you break this, it probably releases some sort of a giant ribbit, and
I do like how it breaks as a mouth opening.
I think that's really good. And you could also imagine these things hopping around trying to get away from you. Again, putting life into these, giving them character and an ability and sound and all the things that kind of make them more than just static objects in the world. That's really important to me. I think this is a fantastic example of something that would have that. It would have motion, it would have sound, it would have a character to it. Fantastic. Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
Put faces on all the things.
Googly eyes.
Googly eyes.
What else we got then about this particular thing? Witch doll. I love the broken things concept and title. Question, or something, bit of a side here. It's not that I don't appreciate Omri's hard work, but will we have more artists making art prints? I remember artworks that were much more dark and less polished. I kind of miss the diversity.
Well, there is a new art print in the works from Omri. Less dark. They're saying that the art prints were less dark or more dark?
They were more dark in the past.
Huh.
But we have done a lot of Omri prints recently. I mean,
well, he's good at them.
He is.
And listen, at the end of the day, the art prints are kind of the lifeblood of what we do in terms of bringing in funds on Patreon, because the way that we leverage Patreon is it's a sort of like art shop. If you're a patron at a certain level, then you can get these art prints, and oh my god, every month I have to sign. I have to sign and send out. How many was it this month? It was like 500. 400.
Yeah, but there was a lot of backlog in that, so it was a lot.
I told Martin yesterday, don't even bring it up. Don't bring any work related to art prints over. I don't want to see art prints. Anyway, Omri does a great job. Art prints are really helpful for us because it allows our patrons to get something in exchange for the support that they provide. And the support they provide allows us to have a team of we have 8 people working on Asylum right now. So it's the whole system. It's really good. It works really well. Now, one of the things that we should announce is that one of our main artists, Alex Crowley, he's going to be now working full time, all the time on Asylum. This is one of those kind of positive benefits from a negative situation, which is that the coronavirus has caused all this disruption in the world. And one of those disruptions has been that in Alex's agency, where he's been working for the last couple of years, they're doing all kinds of cutbacks and layoffs, and he is unfortunately one of the victims of that. But fortunate for us, that means he can now come on board and work on Alice stuff full time. And what he said is that one of the things he wants to do in that full-time work is illustrations, is art prints. So do expect to see more work from him. Look, the image that we just showed from Joey that I was bitching about, that's pretty freaking dark, where she's like fondling that pervy snail.
I definitely think that one would make Witch Doll happy.
Well, that's going to be an art print for sure.
I think this is probably going to be one of the more popular ones.
So that's an art print from someone that's not Omri. That's actually in the schedule, isn't it?
The Snail Alice?
Yeah.
No. The schedule thing was made before Snail Alice appeared. We've got a Dario print next.
Are they all Omri images? Oh, they kind of are. I see. Well, All right, well, we'll do something. But yeah, so that's Omri. Was this Omri? This is Omri plus some help.
We've got a space in August where we could put snail.
Omri, stop clogging up the art print pipeline.
Stop drawing so much, Omri, god damn it.
All right, fair enough. We need to get more art from other artists in there. So there is a Dario print coming next month. That's pretty dark. But I told Omri to push this one in there because we had sort of forgotten it had fallen by the wayside. Yeah. This is one of the problems. We make a lot of really good art, and we do need to reserve some of the better pieces for driving the interest in Patreon. Anyway, enough time spent on that comment. You got any more, or am I going to go back to playing the game?
We could go back to the game for a bit.
Okay. Before I go back to the game, we were talking about Dario. He is right now working on these concepts for the non-Euclidean geometry as presented in the game. This is stuff I'm really excited about because I think it's going to make the game very special compared to just your random kind of run-of-the-mill action platform 3D game. So this is all stuff we've shown in previous streams, but basically where you walk through a tunnel and it shrinks you down, or you walk through the tunnel and it makes you big. Stuff that kind of messes with your perception about geometry and space and maybe even time. It could be kind of fun. I hadn't thought of that. What if we had a tunnel that aged you as you walk through it? So, he's continuing to sketch out various ideas for this and examples for how these kinds of things would work.
Who's that dude?
I don't know. Who's that guy? You don't really look like you belong in this world, my friend.
He just cut that out of some hardware manual or something.
Why does he even looks like he's kind of like a cutout guy? I don't understand. Hey, Dario, that guy needs more horns and blood.
Yeah, what's his name? Who is he in Wonderland?
Bob.
Yeah, it's just this is like Bob Jefferson.
Hi, I'm Bob. Yeah, I test the portals here in Wonderland. We've had some accidents, so I'm the safety inspector for these things. Don't mind me.
Little name tag. Hi, I'm Bob.
Bob, portal inspector at your service.
Oh dear.
What the hell? Who is that guy? Anyway.
Whisker Cuddles says it's Alice's dad. But we know it's not because he looks like Keanu Reeves.
And I don't think that people in Victorian London wore clothes that looked anything like this. So
that's what makes it funnier.
Yeah, I suppose. Isn't he a Chad? Isn't that what you'd call a Chad in this sense? I don't know. I don't know what that word means. Don't listen to me. I should shut up. All right. That is Bob though. Get lost, Bob. Get bent.
Bob Jefferson.
I think that we've got all of our art review stuff kind of out of the way.
Barrel.
I don't know.
Enough said.
It didn't do it for me. I included it because I wanted to say it just didn't do it for me.
Okay.
I feel like it's been done before.
Something in a barrel.
Right? Doesn't it just feel like...
Guess.
I suppose it depends on what happened.
Is it
I've
Bob?
got an idea.
Is it Bob Jefferson?
I was going to say, you break the barrel and something M-rated is in there. Like a
couple of naked snails.
Maybe those are like nipples glowing. You think they're eyes, but they're actually like red-hot demon nipples. I don't know.
That would make the barrel more interesting.
Some steam coming out the top. I don't know. Anyway.
Apparently, Omri asked for some mundane stuff.
Really?
Specifically.
Well, no. I'm not a fan of mundane stuff. I don't think we need mundane stuff. Where is that? I mean, imagine that barrel trying to get crammed into this image. This is what Omri's working on right now. This is obviously a takeoff on Escher. And there's a pig flying through the sky. Now, just imagine he just pasted the barrel in down at the bottom here. Just like, whatever.
Yeah, there's a barrel on this staircase.
Yeah, it's got red-hot nips glowing through the little side bit there, but you won't know what that is. Come on. There's no place for that barrel in the game. Hell Swan, maybe. Gnome, sure.
Hell Gnome.
Hell Gnome. I'm angry and I'm not going to take it anymore.
American James McGee QR code.
So that's it. We've got through most of it. I was going to talk about the fact that Yin is still making some progress on her makeup stuff.
What is that? What type of makeup are we looking at?
It's a lipstick.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit of marketing image for the lipstick. And I was going to talk about the fact that I took Lucky to the hospital. Was that yesterday? Day before yesterday? Tuesday.
That's a great expression on Lucky.
He's got such a cute face.
He's just... He's like, what would you even call that expression?
It's a smirk.
He is a smirky little guy.
He's smirking. Yeah. So yeah, we went out into Shanghai. I wrote a big post up on my personal Facebook page. If anybody's interested in like my take on what Shanghai is like these days in the middle of this situation, you could go read that. I did a bit of a explore. We went to the hospital with Lucky, and so yeah, there you go.
All right. Oh, look at the time.
What?
It's that time.
All right.
Is it? Should we do the good one, or should we leave that? What do you think?
I don't know. So the good one is what, Martin? The good one is
silver Scully jewelry set.
I think you've said it, so why don't we do it?
Should we do it?
Yeah, I think you should give that away.
Okay, this is the special one, folks.
This is the one that everybody cares about.
And what's in the set? There's the cool container, and what's in that?
It's a collection of skull jewelry. It includes a pair of skull earrings, two skull necklaces, skull. Let me see here.
Is there a ring there?
It says it here. It's got two skull earrings, a skull ring. Sorry, two skull earrings, a skull ring, two necklaces, and it comes with this handy dandy jewelry box. It also has a skull on top of it. All of this stuff is made out of surgical stainless steel, except for the earrings, which are made out of high quality silver. And so there you go. Yeah, so we're going to give this away right now. Now, if you want to get this and you don't win it as a prize today, you could always buy it on Mysterious. It's going to go on sale like tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, whatever. You can hit that red button right there, and it'll tell you when we add it to the store, or like it goes on sale or whatever.
It says there, May 1st.
Yeah, whatever. Don't read that. So if you want to win this, go on, Martin. You have to ask a question, and I'm sure it'll be
something
terrible.
about skulls.
Yes. Ask a question about skulls. While you're doing that, I'm going to see if I can find a skull overlay to stick on our heads.
Which animal do you think has the weirdest skull?
Which animal has the weirdest skull?
I still remember the time that you showed me a baby skull on the internet, and I couldn't believe that its like jaw was all like holy and teethy.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Well, then I'm going to say that. I'm going to say human baby
skull
have the weirdest skull.
It's Kitty Attack.
That has nothing to do with skulls. But what is this even? That's nothing to do with skulls at all, Martin.
But we were looking for that earlier.
No, I wasn't looking for that.
I'm always looking for Kitty Attack.
Are they pressing F because we've disconnected again?
Oh, geez, Rick. Stream has disconnected.
So, what should we do? Yes?
Well, it didn't hurt last time.
We don't know. Is it something about contests that makes it fall off?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Again,
Very
YouTubers,
strange.
bear with
Sorry,
us.
YouTube. Yeah, we just fell off the internet, so we're waiting for Twitch to reconnect, and then we're going to finish the contest gigiveaway.
Let's do Zeus while we're waiting.
Why do you want to do that? We're going to shoot lightning out of our eyeballs. What if I... Where's my hand lightning? That really goes with your shirt. It makes you look like Gabe Newell, the Half-Life Steam guy. It makes you look exactly like Gabe.
Really?
Yeah, you look like Gabe with that shirt and that. Yeah, that turned.
Yeah,
oh, it
Half-Life
actually goes
3.
really well with
Confirmed.
my shirt. There you go. I don't know if we're back. Lol.
Not yet.
Okay. I feel like we must be back. Stream is disconnected. Attempting to reconnect. Don't know. We'll have to see. It's not really doing much over there. Might have been the end of it. Might be. That's it for Twitch.
Let's try it again. Oh.
Really?
It's not gonna... We were just about to do a really good competition.
That's why we killed it, because we don't want to give away such a great look It's a solid plan, though. Trick people into watching with a fancy prize and then have technical issues when it's time to give it away.
Issue.
You know, Martin is pulling out the Ethernet cables.
Did we?
Boy.
Did we pull out the Ethernet cable?
No, because we can still... Greg guessed it.
We're back.
Are we back?
Yeah, now we just have dropped frames instead of being totally dead.
Yay! Okay, so we're back. So what we were doing was we were going to give away a thing. Now, should I reload Nightbot?
All right.
Okay. So whatever. People need to tell us which animal you think has the strangest skull. Was that your dumb question?
That was my dumb question.
Very dumb question. You know, that question is as dumb as hot toast.
Hot toast.
Oh boy, that's...
You ever watch Powdered Toast Man?
This is really bad. Okay. So let's just go ahead and do this giveaway before
it dies again.
Yes. There's only 10 eligible users. Should I just give up and go for it?
Let's give them... Say something. Gotta get... This is the good one.
They say we're semi-back. What does that mean?
Yeah, we are... Those are some mighty dropped frames.
Really?
It's at 96%. For like
90?
For like the first hour.
Look, this is really sick. The bandwidth is really broken. Is there something else that's using up?
Brave's using 2 gig. Brave doing.
What is Brave doing? Shouldn't be using 2 gig. Huh?
Who knew?
What's Brave doing?
Anyway, it looks like we're kind of back. Let's roll it.
Really? Oh, I know what Brave is doing. It's this. I'll close that.
Get
That's
rid.
Not necessary. Okay, we're gonna just roll Nightbot here before too late. So somebody called X3 Xenos. So Xenos, you have won the giveaway. Apologies for all the technical issues. We have no idea what's going on here. Something's eating all of our bandwidth. So Xenos has won. If you can still hear us, then please send an email to support@mysterious.design. Include your name, your address, your phone number, all that good stuff. Do it in a readable format, and also make sure to do that within the next 24 hours. And hopefully we will get a prize to you.
Yeah, the awesome jewelry set that you may or may not have seen during the technical issues.
I feel tempted to just close Brave entirely, but I think Brave is only up that high because it was what do I want to say? Oh boy, Adobe Systems Macromedia Flash. That's not good. Why is that running? This is the stuff that's eating all of our bandwidth.
I don't know.
All right.
Any old how.
Let's get back to playing the game because nobody wants to hear about our streaming.
Just looking at the chat. See if... Are we actually back? Chat, tell us, are we actually back? Well, they know that Xenos won, but I mean, how much of a lag behind are we now? Who knows? Play that game.
Please keep an eye on the chat there, Font Lord.
Play that game.
Keep an eye on the chat, my friend.
I am.
That's like your main job.
People are still congratulating Xenos.
Good.
Who is the ruler of everything in Dragon Ball.
Really?
Yep.
Well, Xenos, if you're the ruler of everything, could you please fix our internet for us? That would be fantastic. I see we're getting some throughput there. Like, it's very, very lame, though.
I hope that whatever is wrong with the hardware router can be fixed, because this is uber poop.
Yep. Well,
Yep.
I don't know what it is. We don't know what it is. We do have a hardware router. Martin calls it a router, which is wrong. But we have a hardware router, and it's much faster than the software one that we're using for VPN right now. But the problem is the hardware one has pooped its pants.
It's really good at like download speeds. It's about like 300 meg when we tested it.
You mean for the software VPN?
Yes,
Yes.
today that was really good. But upload, it was struggling to get to 5.
Yeah. So, and we've also noticed I have out here where we live in Qingpu District, we've noticed pretty bad internet performance both in the house and on our phones. And I don't know if it's because China or the local government is doing some sort of upgrades, or if they're doing like especially heavy surveillance and spying on us. Who knows? But one of the things is that in China, the internet, of course, is all behind the Great Firewall, and we have to use a VPN to get out. And the VPN, what's going on there? I feel like that's an interesting place I want to go. So the VPN is the only way we can get onto YouTube, Twitch, whatever. And when it stops working, we're stuck. We don't have a way to get out. So,
Well, for what it's worth, it's okay now. So let's keep going.
it looks like we're getting 3,000. Oh no, it dropped back down to 6.
Oh dear.
I mean, if it's continuing like this, then our future live streams will have to be not live. We'll have to pre-record and then upload.
Oh no.
That looks like what our internet feels like right now. Sad. Looks like it's completely died over there again.
Oh well, we'll keep going because it's going up on YouTube. Let's have a look at some more comments and stop talking about the internet.
Go for it.
Shall we?
We've only got 15 minutes left in this stream, so let's do some comments.
Okay. This was from the Denial to the Queen post.
Yes.
The previous one. Lauren Fryman. I feel that since the Queen has the rabbit and Alice is being forced back all the time, she would get her wit about her and just start to get mad about it. I think the term "we're all mad here" should definitely be her anger state, because it would be awesome.
Okay, well, I think, was it Lauren? Is that the name you said?
Lauren?
Yeah, I think she's talking about Alice's emotional state after the Queen kidnaps the White Rabbit. So this is in the section of the game after Alice has left Denial, and she goes to the Queen's domain. She basically goes there to kind of yell at the Queen and demand to know what's going on and why is Wonderland as messed up as it is, and why is she being held prisoner, is really what she wants to know. And the Queen sets her right by saying that Alice has no idea what she's talking about, that Wonderland is under threat, and that Alice is going to just have to deal with the fact that some of her liberties have been curtailed in exchange for the safety that the Queen and her card guards and all of her things provide. So this is the sort of classic, exchanging your liberty for safety, right? And you're not supposed to do that. But obviously Alice has to make that deal because she doesn't have any control. Anyway, the Queen wants Alice to help with going and checking on the Hatter. And the Queen also thinks that the Hatter can set Alice straight about the situation that they're in. Now, of course, the Queen is also lying to Alice about a lot of things. Grr. But in order to help motivate Alice into doing her bidding, she kidnaps or holds hostage the rabbit. Now, I think I'm still working on the way in which the Queen sort of frames this. I like it being done more in the way that you'd see sort of a mafia boss being like, oh, we'd hate if something were to happen to your little rabbit, and so it shouldn't be that the Queen is like straight up like, I've kidnapped your rabbit. No, it should be more like, your rabbit is invited to tea, and will stay here with us for tea until your return. So I don't think she's gonna frame it in straight up kidnapping, ransom type of coercion type of language. She's probably
a little more subtle.
Exactly.
I think so.
But does that answer the question that was asked? Or was there a question?
This part of the mad part of "we're all mad here" should be mad anger, not mad insanity.
Yeah, it could be. It kind of makes a bit of sense. Mad can have more than one meaning, obviously.
Can.
Yes. There's a book that I'm reading. There was a book that I was reading. Actually, it was a Jordan Peterson book, and he made a point about that with regards to the word matter, because it turns out that matter is both a description of things that are real, but matter is also used in the English language around things that matter, right? So matter can be important, matter can be real. And in the same sense that, madness can be anger, it can also be insanity.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to be exploring themes like that in the game quite a bit, actually.
Excellent stuff. There you go, Lauren. Felipe Bedoya, great notes. I enjoy reading them. Thanks. One last thing, the hot air balloon is there all along and she hijacks it, or some fluffy white ally presents it to her.
Yeah, I think he was asking a question of whether or not it was there all along. In my sense, so where we're talking about the section of the game that Alice is in at the start is in this denial, which is a circus, and the circus has been put there to basically distract Alice, to keep her busy and keep her from being aware of the fact that she is in fact a prisoner. So I've said in the writing that as we go through this area, we're going to find that there's all kinds of accoutrements that are related to a circus. So I don't know about you, but did you have circuses when you were a kid?
I mean, if you went to the seaside, there was circuses, but generally inland it wasn't a thing.
Okay, so you did or didn't have circuses?
Yeah.
Did you go to a circus when you were a kid?
I have a vague recollection of that, and I got to sit on an elephant.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
In England?
Yeah.
All right.
Hairier than I thought.
They are hairy and they are stinky and their skin feels very rough. This is true. So the idea of the balloon comes from when I was a kid. We did have circuses. We actually had the State Fair of Texas, which is I guess you could call a circus. It's big fairgrounds. And anyway, there they had hot air balloons, and you had them tethered to the ground,
Right.
so that you could go for rides on them. They would just go up and then back down again, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine that. I imagine that there's a tethered hot air balloon. Alice is able to cut the rope, and that's what that's where the knife comes in. I think prior to her acquisition of the knife, this form of escape was there, it presented itself to her, but she never would have been able to access it because she didn't have the knife with which to cut the rope.
Okay.
So there you go.
You ever been in a hot air balloon?
I have. Have you?
I would not.
I would not. That's not really the answer. I mean, but I'm not surprised by that because.
But I don't mind flying. I quite like flying.
So what's wrong with
But
a
just
hot air
the
balloon?
idea of being held up by air with a wicker basket beneath my feet. I mean, I was in constant nervous panic while watching the aeronauts. It was. I enjoyed the movie, but I just kept thinking, nope.
Right? Yeah, in Texas, where I'm from originally, hot air balloons, it was quite common to see people on the weekends, going out in their hot air balloons, out in the countryside, and every once in a while you'd hear of people, flying their hot air balloon into power lines and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's not good. They get electrocuted and oftentimes die as a result. But I think it's supposed to be relatively safe. As aeronautical hobbies go, I believe it's got a pretty good safety record.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been on balloons. I've been in ultralights. I've been in gliders and flown gliders. When I was living here, in my time living here in China, I got into paragliding, which of course is it's not powered. I was doing unpowered paragliding, so you have a canopy that you can carry around in a backpack, basically, and depending on the weather conditions, you can stay up for hours
Okay.
on one of those. So I don't mind. I'm actually quite interested in flying around heights and stuff like that.
All right.
Would you? But you wouldn't do those things. Like, would you do paragliding?
I think I would be more. I think I'd be happier with like paragliding and hand gliding than I would at just being held aloft by a balloon.
Okay. Even though the balloon would have the better safety record.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
All right. Well, no sense, but it's fine.
Going back to the balloon, Rosuav mentions, it says, a hot air balloon and a vorpal blade. I'm reminded of Alice Otherlands. Can there be a tiny reference or call forward? In Otherlands, Alice cuts the balloon from the basket and drops with Jules Verne into the ocean. Perhaps have her look at the balloon and be afraid of what would happen if she fell. Leviathan is all about exploring fears. Yeah,
so the comment here, if you go onto YouTube, there is a Leviathan. It's got a video called Leviathan that's done by Edward Goyne. He was the guy that did the cutscenes that you see, the kind of paper cutout cutscenes in Madness Returns. We did an Otherlands, Alice Otherlands Kickstarter campaign. We raised some money to acquire the Alice film rights on a temporary option, and then we also funded 2 people to do small animations related to the Otherlands concept. Otherlands concept was her traveling into the minds of contemporaneous, oftentimes famous people like Edison, Jules Verne, Van Gogh. These are all characters, people, actual real-life people who happen to also be present in London at the same time that Alice... Oh, no! Oh, no! No! Anyway, so they happen to be there at the same time that she was there, and I have to say, one thing I do like about this game is it's not very punishing on mistakes. It's good. It doesn't send me back miles and miles into the things I've covered before. Good. And it also doesn't take a long time for it to reset. That's quite nice. Where was I? So anyway, about the Jules Verne and a call forward. I don't know. Yeah, technically we could do that because the reality is that Alice, young Alice, the one that we're playing as in Asylum, she's actually in the brain of older Alice, right? So we have said that there can be elements from adult Alice's life that bleed through. The thing is, we haven't even got to Otherlands by the in Alice's future, because we've never really made that project. And I don't know that in Alice's future that Otherlands has happened yet. I think Otherlands happens to a much older Alice.
Right.
So I don't know about that idea.
So probably no callback.
Probably
Rosuav.
no.
Austin Hansen. Asylum is a prequel to the first Alice game, correct? Does that mean we will get an explanation of how Alice originally acquired the Vorpal blade? Yes.
Yes, but don't the books provide that?
Well, I mean, for someone who hasn't read the books,
I mean,
the game will do it. I mean, we've talked about that in the past, haven't we? That it's going to come crashing down from the sky.
But that's not the Vorpal blade.
Oh no, that's the crystal blade.
Yeah,
isn't it?
So I mean, we're doing a bit of a dodge on this topic because she's not actually acquiring the Vorpal blade. She's acquiring the. She's acquiring. I'm gonna go blow myself up. She's actually acquiring the crystal Vorpal blade. And the crystal stuff has to do with chaos and order and all that kind of funness. But the crystal Vorpal blade comes from outside of this reality that Alice is living inside of in Asylum. So it's not really the origin story for where she acquires the Vorpal blade itself.
Yep.
And in the first Alice, we didn't do a very good job of like selling the acquisition of the Vorpal blade, because it was just the Cheshire Cat being like, the Vorpal blade is swift and sharp and blah blah, and then she just picks it up and starts chopping up card guards with it. So I don't think we're gonna have an opportunity to really delve into that. No.
Yeah. Way to earn that weapon, Alice. Just pick it up. It's yours.
Well, look, that was back in the day where we were lucky we could even like have a basic cinematic in the game. So we weren't looking to push the envelope on cinematic storytelling exactly.
Okie doke.
I hope you're keeping an eye on the comments over there.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're gonna get negative comments in your suggestion box at the end of this if you miss people's questions. I have to read those, and then I have to file a manager report on you.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's poop.
I think we're all good.
Good.
Think. we are approaching 12 o'clock here.
We are. Almost time to call it a day. So maybe we'll watch this. Speaking of Edward going, this is one of the animations that he did.
Let's have a look at it.
That was the first key acquired. Alchemy keys. It's one of her big realizations. There you go. She's recovered an important memory. Look at that kick-ass Hatter dress. Is there a monster spawning there? That's really rude. Maybe I should save these guys for another day. Ooh, hysteria. Yeah. Okay, whatever. I don't want to read that. Stupid tutorials. Why has it done all this damage to me already?
Press left stick.
I'm left stick.
Click it.
I'm pressing it.
There we go.
You press on a stick.
I will later.
Rah! She looks like what's the TV show, the Netflix about the kids in the underworld?
Stranger Things?
Yeah, she's in the Upside Down when she goes into hysteria mode. Nice. Okay, we're going to call it there. That is the end of today's game playing of Alice Madness Turns, and we're going to do a little bit of house cleaning. We'll just go through all the things here. I think we should do one more shout out to our friends over at Freaky Fandoms.
That's gone up while we were streaming.
They now have 2,006 backers. They've raised $192,000. So In Search of Tomorrow, Kickstarter over on Kickstarter. That's redundant.
Kickstarter on Kickstarter, you say?
Yes, it is.
Yo, dog. I heard you like Kickstarters in your Kickstarter.
So In Search of Tomorrow is definitely aimed at sci-fi fans. I like movies like this. This is from the era of me as a young lad. I got a lot of inspiration out of all these movies. Some of the things that are highlighted in here were some of the first and favorites of sci-fi films that I ever watched. So I'm actually quite excited about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to one of those posters. See how many things we could mention.
What do you mean? Oh, here.
Like the big one.
I don't know. No, it's that one. RoboCop. That's Kurt Russell. Escape from New York.
Predator.
There's a Sith Lord. Palpatine. There's Khan from Wrath of Khan.
There's an Ed 209.
Yeah, but we know all this stuff. Look, you think they're going to put characters on there that we don't know?
Or the Nostromo? I get them mixed
this
up.
One. That's a good
That's
question.
the Sulaco.
Why don't we do this? We'll make that the question for the prize giveaway. So we're going to do a prize giveaway now. It'll be the last and final prize giveaway of today, and it's going to be that big ol' art print there called Tragedy. Yes. Signed, sealed, and delivered from Shanghai to you anywhere in the world. The question for that is whether or not that ship shown in the background there is the Sulaco or the Nostromo.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't even know if they can see that very well. But if let's see who gets it. We don't even know the answer. So How are you going to check that?
It's the pointy one.
Anyway, this is not how
I
you
always
win
get
the...
it mixed up.
This is not how you're going to win the prize,
No.
by the way. We're still going to use Nightbot. This is just how you get Nightbot's attention. So even if you don't know the answer to the question, just give it a name, like
Just
the
type
banana. The
or something.
Space Pickle. I'm going to call it Space Pickle.
The answer
Now,
is C.
while they... I loved that video, though. Did you... That one I sent you, the guy's given a choice between staying at home. He's like, given a choice, stay at home with your children and your wife during this pandemic, or B, he's like, B. B. All right. While they're spamming up the Nightbot, let's see if there's anything else that we should do in terms of... I think we pretty much covered it all today. You can go over to AmericanMcGee.com and fill out the mailing list thing, but I assume many of you have done that already. We also have a Twitter and a Facebook and an Instagram and a YouTube and
a Twitch.
And a Twitch.
It's still not updated.
Shut up. And we have a Patreon, and I haven't updated that either. So whatever. Maybe we can do that today.
Mysterious yet?
What?
Mysterious.
What about it? They've seen it several times. This is how we've given away prizes. Anyway, we have a shop called Mysterious. Go buy stuff. Do the thing. Oh, there is that combo set. You can buy the cat and the rabbit together for the low price of $80, which is like a big savings.
It's like 30% off.
I don't know.
At least.
I'm not doing the QVC thing today.
Okay.
Sorry.
Nightbot,
take us away.
give us your wisdom.
3, 2, 1. Sonofloki.
Son of Loki.
Son of Loki.
Sonoflock I won.
Sonofloki. I like Sonofloki. It's like a sound something. Anyway, Sonofloki, you won the giveaway. Please do the thing. That means you need to send your name, address, and phone number to support@mysterious.design. And then we will send their art print to you. Please do that within the next 24 hours. And I don't know what else to tell them. Do you have any other ideas? Now that our frame rate is dropping down horribly again. Does anybody want some Lulu? We do have a Lulu attractor.
Ooh. And we have a Lulu cam.
Let's do some Lulu cam. That'll be the last thing we do today. Maybe ever.
Lulu.
She hates this. Arr. Ah, that's my fingers you're biting. What's wrong with you? Yeah, it makes her crazy. Because look at her mouth going. This came out of the inside of one of her squeaky toys. So whenever you give her a squeaky toy, the only thing she really cares about is getting this out of the inside of the squeaky toy. And then once it's out, if she doesn't think that it's dead, then it makes her really upset that it still exists at all. So yeah. All right, Lulu. I think that's it. I think we did all the things.
The last thing that we'll do is on Patreon. Each month we do a lucky 5. We pick 5 patrons at random, drawn from a magic hat, that we give a little prize away to.
Right.
But in order to be legal and, do everything correctly, we have to open it up to more people. So
you can't talk and beam at the same time.
So for those watching on YouTube and indeed on Twitch, we need to open it to you guys as well. So once this goes up on YouTube, if you can comment down in the comments of YouTube to win, we'll do the enamel pin set. The 4 and the 1 is going to be the prize. Yeah, how good is that? So yeah, in the YouTube comments, say sausage. And you'll be in the draw to win the enamel pin set. But only do that for like the next week. What's the date?
4:30.
No, but click it open. Let's have a look.
But why do you need to look at the date? It's going to be the 7th.
No, I want to know what, like, next Thursday.
The 7th. Jesus Christ, Rick.
Yeah, if you're watching this after the 7th of May, don't bother. We'll already have done the draw.
So what is the phrase they need to put into...
Sausage.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, everybody, that's it for today. I think we're going to go find some sausage. Appreciate everybody hanging out despite all the lag here on Twitch. If you do want to watch all of that without the lag, you can always watch it when we post this up over on YouTube, and we will be back again in a week or two with more of this. And I may try to play some Doom here on Twitch again soon if I can sort out the field of view stuff and don't make myself vomit. So.
And the VPN behaves.
There you go. Right.
Okay. Well, see y'all later.
See you later. Bye-bye.